The Last Call Before Dawn. John and Margaret had been married for 47 years. They lived in a small white house in Ohio, where every morning began with coffee, old photographs, and memories of a life they had built together. But that summer felt different. Every news channel spoke about rising tensions between the United States and Iran. Military ships were moving, politicians were arguing, experts were warning that a war could begin at any moment. For most people, it was just another headline. For John and Margaret, it was personal. Their only grandson, Ethan, was a 22-year-old Marine stationed in the Middle East. Every night, Margaret sat in front of the television, her hands trembling as she listened to the news. "Do you think he'll be okay?" she asked John for the 100th time. John forced a smile. "He'll come home. He's strong." But when Margaret went to sleep, John stayed awake, staring at Ethan's childhood photos. The truth was, he was terrified. Then one morning, the news broke. Military strikes had occurred. The words echoed through their living room like thunder. Margaret dropped her coffee mug. For 3 days, they heard nothing from Ethan. No calls, no messages, nothing. The silence became unbearable. Margaret stopped eating. John stopped sleeping. Every ring of the phone made their hearts race. Then at 3:17 a.m. on the fourth night, the phone finally rang. John nearly fell trying to reach it. "Hello?" For a moment, there was only static. Then came a familiar voice. "Grandpa, it's me." John's knees almost gave out. Margaret rushed from the bedroom. "Ethan?" "I'm okay," Ethan said, his voice weak but alive. "We're safe." Margaret began crying so hard she could barely speak. For the next few minutes, nobody talked about politics. Nobody talked about countries. Nobody talked about who was right or wrong. They only talked about family, about coming home, about Sunday dinners, about the old fishing lake Ethan loved as a child. When the call ended, John looked at Margaret. Both were crying. Both were smiling. And for the first time in days, the house felt warm again. That night, John wrote something in his journal. Wars are discussed by governments, analyzed by experts, and reported by journalists. But in quiet homes across the world, they are felt by ordinary families who simply pray for the people they love to come back safely. Outside, the world was still uncertain, but inside that little house in Ohio, hope had returned before dawn.